God is angry at every single sin. God has a anger towards sin. And this is biblical. You can say that, God will forgive us. He'll give us mercy, right? That's biblical too. But at the same time, you have to realize that God hates sin, bro. Like, that separation between us and God is what God hates the most. That's why he doesn't like the devil. Though the devil he's an angel, he doesn't like the devil. That's why he casted the devil out of his kingdom. When you read Romans chapter 1 and at verse 18, the background is that God's anger at sin. And in verse 18, it says, "But God shows his anger from heaven against all sinful, wicked people who suppress the truth by their wickedness." Verse 19, they know the truth about God because he has made it obvious to them. For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see his invisible qualities. My fault. Yeah, invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature. So they have no excuse for not knowing God. Verse 21, yes, they knew God, but they wouldn't worship him as God or even give him thanks. And they began to think up foolish ideas of what God was like. As a result, their minds became dark and confused. Claiming to be wise, they instead became utter fools. And instead of worshiping the glorious, ever-living God, they worshiped idols made to look like mere people and birds and animals and reptiles. But see, that's that free will we're talking about. We get an opportunity to choose what we want to do, right? God gives us that free will. He gives us the opportunity to make decisions for ourselves. He gives us the opportunity to choose our lifestyle. But biblically, that's how, in the Bible, that it illustrates how we should be living, right? We should be living of God, right? That's like if we go out, right, and we go party and drink, right? And we say we're Christian, we're supposed to be living as Christians. We're supposed to be peculiar people, amongst, compared to the rest of the world. But how are you really living, right? I'm not saying we're not going to make mistakes, bro, because we're going to make mistakes. We're human. We're not perfect at all. Even when we became baptized, and if you haven't been baptized yet, you should become baptized if you're ready. But I'm telling you, those even that became baptized and just became newborn babes, though they were cleansed from Christ, they're still not perfect beings, right? Because that's what the baptism is for in the first place, right? But when you read this word, when it says, God, and instead of worshiping the glorious ever-living God, they worship idols made to look like mere people and birds and animals and reptiles, right? So look, this is what God did to them. When you read verse 24, it says, "So God abandoned them to do whatever shameful things their heart desired." So whatever, like I said, we all have free will, right? We all get to make decisions, right? We all get to choose how we live, right? We all get to do these different jobs. We get to choose, how we react to different things, right? Because it's a part of our free will from God, and it's a part of our physical nature, right? Don't say it's from the United States of America, bro, because it's not from the United States. Right? It's not from the United States Constitution, whatever, right? When you read this word, look, it says God abandoned them to do whatever shameful things their heart desired. And look, this is the last part. And listen to this. As a result, they did vile and degrading things with each other's bodies. They traded the truth about God for a lie, so they worship and serve the things God created instead of the Creator himself, who is worthy of eternal praise. I don't understand it. People give thanks, people give praise to the wrong things. People give their time and energy to the wrong things. We are all victims of doing it, but you're continuously doing it. You're going to continuously keep doing it. And people give thanks to anybody but the Lord. But back on my first point, God does not like sin. God hates sin. And separation from God is not a good thing. Because when you don't have God on your side, who's on your side? The world's never going to be on your side. The world's never ever going to be on your side, right? Even when Job had things taken away from him, even when David and Joseph went through their trials and tribulations, right? They still stood truth on their word, right? They didn't go and start worshiping other idols. David didn't start worshiping his slingshot because he knocked out Goliath, bro. He didn't go worship them 3 stones that he had in his slingshot. What did he do? He continued to give the praise to God. But David knew that the Lord was on his side in the first place. So that's why he was able to have the strength and the courage to stand up to Goliath in the first place. Same thing with Joseph. Joseph in his dreams, right? Because he believed in his dreams, he believed, in God and giving him that vision, regardless of his brothers being against him, regardless of him getting the coat of many colors and being seen as a favorite. He still stood truth. Even though when he was sold, for gold, my fault, for silver. Whenever he was sold, he still stood truth on the Lord, right? And he didn't let sin waver, right? Same thing with Job. When Job was, when things were taken away from Job, a man who was perfect in the eyes of the Lord. Y'all should go read Job. In the eyes of the Lord, bro, he got tested. The Lord allowed Satan to test him, right? So Job passed the test. He passed them all. Y'all should go read that for yourselves. But my whole point is, the Lord does not like sin, bro. The Lord literally does not like sin. Because at the end of the day, if you live a sinful life, you're living a life without Christ. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, bro, God bless. Share this video with somebody that may need it. Yes, sir.